Alex suffered from a rare pheromonal disorder. He was an Omega who could not be marked. He could never bear children. During his episodes, only his coworker Leo would help. Leo would pour his pheromones into Alex's glands. This provided temporary comfort. Then, Leo's wealthy father found him. He saw Alex as a burden. He did not want Alex in their home. Leo resisted the pressure. He brought Alex with him. Alex thought he could always rely on Leo. He believed Leo would always ease his sickness. This changed when a beautiful Omega appeared. She was introduced as Leo's fiancée. Leo tasted a true temporary mark for the first time. His heart changed completely. He described the feeling of locking his pheromones inside someone. It was a profound sense of possession. He felt she belonged only to him. Alex could not understand this feeling. He only wanted to live. Soon, Leo found his episodes annoying. He refused to help anymore. So Alex came to a high-end cocktail lounge. He was like a walking piece of cake. He was begging a pack of wolves for a bite. Any alpha would do. He just needed pheromones. He stumbled and crashed into a man. It was Leo's own uncle, Julian. An enigma's overwhelming scent instantly locked onto his glands. Alex felt a wave of relief. Heat flooded his entire body. It was an unbearable, burning sensation. His scent glands felt like they would explode. He leaned against a wall, shuffling his feet. He subconsciously pushed open the lounge door. This place was different. It lacked the mixed chaos of a dive bar. Most patrons were high society alphas. Their control was strong. They probably would not kill him. A server blocked his path. He explained that Omegas in heat were not permitted inside. A strong scent of spiced rum poured from Alex. It drifted under the nose of every alpha. Their eyes focused on him. Some alpha's pheromones began to intermingle with his, but their self-control held them back. Alex begged for any alpha to give him pheromones. The words were forced through his teeth. Humiliation made his face burn. The piercing pain in his glands demanded action. He needed pheromones to survive. A long silence followed. No one dared to move. He sagged against the doorframe. The server kindly supported him. The server offered to get him inhibitors from the hotel upstairs. He suggested Alex did not need to do this. Alex weakly shook his head. He explained that inhibitors were useless. He was immune to them. Still, no one stepped forward. He turned to leave, planning to find another place. An alpha suddenly spoke with a mocking tone. He recognized Leo's little Omega. He wondered why Alex had fallen into such a state. Others chimed in. They mentioned he had been with Leo for years. They questioned if Leo was not enough for him. Their words suggested his Omega was wandering. Alex clenched his fists. He lowered his head. He had not seen Leo in a long time. Leo used to give him pheromones every few days. Alex could live a normal life despite not being marked. But everything changed with the beautiful Omega fiancée. It had been love at first sight for Leo. Alex remembered Leo's recent boasting. Leo had asked if he understood the feeling of being marked. He had called it incredible. Leo pitied Alex for his condition. He said they could never truly be together. At the time, Alex had just opened his mouth. No words would come out. After that, Leo's visits became rare. Alex's sickness flared. He went to beg Leo for help. He found Leo drunk in a private room. Leo pointed at him with disgust. He asked why Alex was in heat again so soon. He cruelly compared Alex to a dog he kept. The room erupted in laughter. Alex left quietly. He curled up in his room. He endured the pain for 3 days. There was no sign of improvement. The agony brought clarity. He just needed pheromones. It did not matter whose they were. He opened his door. He was focused on finding the next bar. He did not see someone entering the building. He could not stop his momentum. He crashed directly into the man's chest. The man carried the coldness of the winter air. Alex stepped back, rubbing his reddened nose. He apologized profusely. The man bent down slightly. He asked if Alex was all right. He gently ruffled Alex's hair. He seemed relieved that Alex was not hurt. The man noted that Alex was not injured. He rambled about a previous collision. He said the winter ice was dangerous. He observed that Alex seemed small and thin. Then he noticed Alex's condition. He warned that being in heat outside was very dangerous. He offered to help Alex leave. The man spoke quickly. Alex's head throbbed. He could barely understand the words. He only caught a few phrases. Dangerous. I'll help you. He clung to those words like a lifeline. He grabbed the man's wrist. He buried his face in the man's chest. He inhaled deeply. He stood on his toes, reaching for the man's neck. He whispered that he was in pain. He begged the man to help him. The man protested. He said this was not right. He tried to push Alex away. He said Alex's voice sounded familiar. He asked if he was Alex. He identified himself as Leo's uncle, Julian. He reminded Alex of his connection to Leo. He said he could not steal from his own nephew. Alex could not hear him clearly. He had never met such a talkative alpha. His head tilted to one side. He silenced the man's lips with his own. The kiss was cool. It soothed the burning inside him. The lounge grew noisy. Alex hung onto Julian completely. Julian could not shake him off. Alex greedily bit at his scent glands. He was confused. He wondered why there were no pheromones. His own scent was overwhelming Julian. Yet the man had no reaction. He decided he was not biting hard enough. He could not miss this opportunity. He applied more pressure. Julian yelped. He complained about the crowd. He said he had never been bitten by an omega before. He yelled at the onlookers to get a room. He also asked for inhibitors. Alex's teeth finally broke the skin. A delicate fruit fragrance filled his senses. The scent was strawberry. An alpha with a strawberry scent. It clashed with his spiced rum. The combination created a surprisingly pleasant aroma. Julian swore in frustration. He yelled for everyone to get out. He told them not to follow him. A door slammed shut. He threw Alex onto a bed. Alex's mind was fuzzy. His mouth tasted sweet, but it was not enough. He crawled towards Julian to try again. Julian was prepared this time. He caught Alex's hands. He asked why Leo let him wander alone during his heat. Alex explained that they were no longer together. Julian tilted his head in disbelief. Alex felt his teeth ache with need. He clutched Julian's hand. He begged for just a few pheromones. Julian refused. He said inhibitors were on their way. He was going to call Leo. He would have Leo pick Alex up. Alex insisted the inhibitors were useless. He told Julian that Leo was probably having fun. Julian skeptically dialed Leo's number. Leo answered with irritation. He told Julian not to bother him during important business. An Omega's voice was audible in the background. Julian could not have missed it. Julian cursed at Leo. He promised his nephew would regret it. He hung up the phone. His cheeks were flushed with embarrassment. He tried to comfort Alex. He promised to teach Leo a lesson later. He called Leo trash for cheating. Alex nodded silently. He asked if Julian did not know. The other Omega was Leo's fiancée. Julian admitted he did not know. He had just returned to the country. He again called Leo a scumbag. Alex said nothing. The small amount of pheromones he had gained was fading. Julian wondered where his friend was with the inhibitors. He worried his friend was lost. He told Alex to wait a little longer. But Alex could not wait. Julian sat with his back to him. The bite mark was visible on his neck. He was exercising extreme control. He did not release any pheromones. He even tried to make small talk. Alex took advantage of the distraction. He wrapped his arms around Julian's waist. He pressed himself against Julian again. He begged him for help. He cried that he would die. He did not want to die yet. His tears fell on Julian's shoulder. Julian's body tensed. He sat completely still. He swallowed hard several times. He asked if Alex was truly done with Leo. Alex shook his head frantically. He wanted to sever all ties. Julian finally relented. He agreed to help just this once. He warned that his pheromones were stronger than an alpha's. He told Alex to speak up if it became too much. Julian finally bit into Alex's glands. Just then, a knock came at the door. Julian's friend had arrived with the inhibitors. Julian said Alex was saved. He started to get up. Alex hooked his neck, pulling him back down. He told Julian to send the friend away. He repeated that the inhibitors were useless. Julian sighed in resignation. He shouted through the door. He told his friend to leave. He said they were no longer needed. Alex had thought Julian was exaggerating. A strawberry scent could not be that aggressive. But the moment the pheromones entered him, he almost passed out. A single gentle breath from Julian was potent. Felt like 3 full sessions from Leo. How could an alpha have such powerful pheromones? Julian told him to say if it hurt. He admitted it was his first time. A light sweat broke out on Alex's forehead. He shook his head. He wanted more. He did not know when he would find another kind person. The strawberry scent was rich and sweet. It completely overpowered his own spiced rum. A long time passed. Alex's breathing became ragged. Julian finally stopped. He announced the temporary mark was complete. He advised Alex not to wander the streets during his next heat. Julian's cheeks were slightly red. He scratched his head awkwardly. He said Alex could find him again if he needed help. Alex's mouth fell open. He touched his swollen glands. He was shocked by the feeling of locked-in pheromones. He had been marked. He had actually been marked. He thought his disorder made that impossible. Leo had tried countless times. One night, Leo nearly exhausted himself completely. It had still failed. Yet Julian had marked him so easily. He had not felt this satisfied in a long time. The relief made him fall asleep. When he opened his eyes again, he heard a shower running. The air was thick with the scent of fresh strawberries. He looked at the neat room. His clothes were untouched. Julian was a true gentleman. A temporary mark should last for a while. But Julian was still Leo's uncle. Now that he was clear-headed, he knew to avoid the family. He took the only $200 from his pocket. He placed the cash on the bed. Then he got up and left. He caught a cab downstairs. He got out at the entrance to a community. The neighborhood was remote. The buildings were old. It housed many factory workers. One of those apartments was where he and Leo first lived. It contained nearly their entire history together. His mother had him very young. She saw him as a burden. She threw him out when she learned of his illness. She said she had no money for his treatment. She told him to find an alpha. She said he was old enough to work. He was 16 then. He understood she was abandoning him. He was willing to leave. He would have starved with her. A young Omega walking through a chaotic factory district. The foreman put him in a large dorm with a dozen men. He told Alex the men there were good people. Then he yelled at a subordinate. He said that he was the law there. Alex quietly claimed an empty corner bunk. The foreman promised $2,000 a month. The work was easy. Food and lodging were included. He could save all of it. In 10 years, he could live comfortably. Besides, they were all alphas. They would help him when he got sick. The door closed. An alpha cautiously tugged his clothes. Alex stared blankly at the ceiling. Someone turned off the light. A hand grabbed his ankle. He closed his eyes. Suddenly, the light flashed on. The man nearest to him was kicked away. A figure pulled Alex up. He stood protectively in front of Alex. He threatened anyone who dared to move. Alex shook his head, clearing the memory. His key was already in the lock. Back then, Leo had become a junior foreman. This was his place. For a long time, he let Alex live here alone. Leo stayed in the dorms. Later, when Alex got sick, Leo found him. Alex begged for his pheromones. Leo agreed. Their relationship deepened. He moved in with Alex. They lived together for nearly 3 years. Then Leo's family found him. He bought this apartment immediately. Alex thought it was unnecessary. Leo said it held their memories. He couldn't bear to destroy it. Alex smiled and agreed. They used to visit often. But in recent months, Leo was busy. He forgot their promises. Alex opened the door. The smell of caramel and wood smoke hit him. He stared at the messy living room. He carefully stepped around discarded clothes. The flower stand on the balcony was crooked. Broken pots littered the floor. A ceramic doll from the TV stand lay on the ground. He carefully picked it up. It was not shattered, but covered in cracks. He and Leo had made this doll together after work. Leo said it looked like Alex. Alex said it looked like him. Leo then said it could be the child they could never have. Alex held it tightly. He stood at the bedroom door. The pheromones were strongest here. He knew Leo was inside with his fiancée. He did not expect them to come here. He took a deep breath. He knocked on the door. He calmly said he was just grabbing something. The door opened. A sleepy Leo looked at him. He asked why Alex was here. He complained that Alex couldn't even wait a few days. He told Alex to go back to the villa. He said he would come by later. Alex's gaze shifted to the bed. The fiancé was fast asleep. Alex said he would leave. He offered to come back in a few days. He turned to go. Leo grabbed his wrist. He gently closed the door. He led Alex to the sofa. He asked if Alex was better now. He questioned Alex's illness. He asked if it could heal itself. Alex said nothing, only nodding. Leo scoffed. He asked if Alex had been playing him all along. Alex remained silent. He looked at this strange, familiar man. Money and power truly changed a person. Leo had forgotten his own past tears. He used to hold Alex through the pain. He told Alex to bite him if it hurt. His arm always had a faint tooth mark. Now, his fiancée's name covered that spot. Alex spoke in a low voice. He told Leo he wanted to leave. Leo waved his hand dismissively. He told Alex to go back to the villa. He worried his fiancée, Chloe, would be upset. Alex clarified that he wanted to leave Leo. Leo questioned how a sick Omega could survive alone. Alex stared at the contempt in his eyes. He said Leo did not need to worry. He insisted he would be fine. The laws had improved. Society was better for Omegas. His illness had also become less frequent. He knew he could find a job. He had some savings to last him. Leo studied him, realizing he was serious. But he rubbed the ring on his finger. He seemed reluctant to let Alex go. The bedroom door opened. Chloe emerged wearing Leo's shirt. She yawned and sat on Leo's lap. She complained that they did not wake her. Leo pulled her shirt down to hide the marks. He rubbed her swollen glands. He told her to sleep a little longer. She glared at him. She sarcastically offered to give them space. Alex again told Leo he wanted to leave. Leo weighed his options. He looked at Chloe and spoke gently. He agreed it was for the best. He was getting married to Chloe. Keeping Alex around was inappropriate. Alex got his answer. He stood and placed the ceramic doll on the coffee table. Chloe picked it up with curiosity. She remarked on its unique design. In the next moment, it shattered in her hand. She complained about the cheap object. It almost cut her. She angrily threw the remaining pieces. They smashed into powder. Leo fussed over her hand. He never once looked at the departing Alex. Alex rented a small room near the lounge. He had seen a hiring sign there yesterday. The pay was good. He heard the owner was very kind about time off. The interview went well. He was assigned to the bar. The job offered full benefits. The salary was more than he expected. The man who trained him was the same Omega from before. His name was Ryan. He warmly gave Alex a uniform. He never mentioned the incident from the other night. He assured Alex that bartending was simple. He said the clientele were all rich kids just having fun. Alex nodded and followed his instructions. He learned a few simple drinks. As evening fell, people began to arrive. Alex adopted a professional smile. He asked customers for their orders. But the bar was almost full. Not a single person asked him for a drink. He quietly asked Ryan if he was doing something wrong. Ryan frowned. He looked toward Alex's scent gland. He admitted his curiosity, but he respected Alex's privacy. He mentioned that many people saw Alex with Julian, and alphas could smell a mark. Alex sniffed himself. He wore 3 patches over his gland. Only a faint strawberry scent remained. He wondered if it was really that noticeable. So why hadn't Leo noticed it? He also wondered why it would make alphas avoid him. He asked if Julian was some kind of pariah. Ryan made a noise of disbelief. He explained that Julian was an enigma. The city had only a handful of them. He said most Omegas could not handle their mark. He thought it was strange Alex was marked by one. Yet he was still working here. Ryan called Julian a scumbag. Alex frowned, wiping down the counter. Julian's pheromones had felt deeper. They seemed to reach the very core of his gland. Maybe that was why the mark took. He was lost in thought. A long, elegant hand appeared in his vision. The man tapped the bar with his knuckles. Alex looked up. He saw Julian's smiling profile. Panic seized him. He accidentally knocked over a glass. He cleaned the spill while asking what Julian wanted. Julian's lips curved into a smirk. He grabbed Alex's wrist. He asked if he was a plague. He wondered where Alex's courage from the other night went. Alex stared at him, speechless. Julian calmly pulled $200 from his pocket. It was the money Alex had left on the bed. Julian asked if Alex thought this was a transaction. He wanted to know what the money meant. Alex swallowed nervously and nodded. He reminded Julian of his offer. He said a fair exchange made him feel better. Julian scoffed. He said Alex valued him cheaply. He shoved the money back into Alex's hand. His eyes were full of disdain. Alex did not argue. Julian was Leo's uncle. He had already decided not to seek his help again. Alex quietly put the money away. Julian just stood at the bar, staring at him. After a long silence, Julian finally spoke. He asked if Alex truly did not understand. Alex remained silent. He assumed Julian thought the money was too little. He pulled out a bank card. He said it had $5,000. It was a reward. Julian's face fell instantly. He let out a helpless laugh. He told Alex his heart was truly cruel. He turned and left. He sat down heavily at a nearby table. His friends looked concerned. Alex quietly put the card away. He wished people would just say what they mean. For 3 days, Julian came every day. He never ordered a drink from Alex. He just watched him. Alex felt like he was being observed. He thought Julian was waiting for him to get sick again. He thought Julian wanted to see him beg. Julian's mark was indeed fading. An alpha's temporary mark usually lasted 3 days. An enigma's should last longer. Alex counted his money, lost in thought. He had heard about a new surgery. Could cure his disorder. The success rate was growing. But it was incredibly expensive. He still needed much more money. If he could just save for a few more years, he could finally stop living this humiliating life. He wiped the counter, looking at Julian's usual spot. He was not there today. It was probably for the best. Ryan was polishing glasses nearby. Alex was chipping at a block of ice. Ryan noticed his discomfort. He told Alex to go home. Alex said he would leave after finishing the ice. He kept his head down. A hand suddenly clamped onto his wrist. Leo was there. He looked at Alex with a confused, angry expression. Chloe was clinging to his arm. Leo said leaving him meant working here. He complained that everyone in their circle was laughing at him. He had heard Alex was marked by someone else. He demanded to know how that was possible. Leo pulled him forcefully across the bar. The ice cubes scattered. Alex's stomach pressed against the cold surface. He told Leo to let him go. He called him crazy. Ryan tried to pull Alex back. But Leo was determined to inspect his glands. His eyes were bloodshot. Chloe looked very unhappy. Alex did not understand. Why did it matter to Leo if he could be marked? Leo demanded to try again. He wanted to see if he could mark Alex. He had lost his mind. He climbed onto the bar to grab Alex. Ryan shielded Alex, backing him toward the liquor shelf. He grabbed a bottle of wine to defend them. It was useless. Alex pushed Ryan away and ran. In the next second, Leo caught him in an embrace. He begged to try just one more time. He refused to believe it. He could not accept his failure. He roughly tore off Alex's scent patches. The sting made Alex gasp. Leo immediately released his pheromones. He was trying to force Alex into heat. In public, he had forgotten how much more painful that made it. He was like a desperate animal. A furious voice cut through the chaos. Julian burst through the door. He landed a solid punch on Leo's head. Leo grunted and fell back into the liquor shelf. Bottles wobbled and crashed down on him. Red wine mixed with blood on his face. Julian pulled Alex behind him. Wisps of strawberry pheromones soothed his screaming glands. But the pain was still overwhelming. Julian promised to get him out of there. He told Alex to hold on. Alex bit his lip until it bled. He grabbed Julian's arm desperately. His sickness was back. He begged Julian to help him. Julian promised he would. He said he was taking Alex to a hospital. He had an appointment with a brilliant specialist. He apologized for being late. Julian lifted Alex into his arms. Leo grabbed Julian's pant leg. He asked where he was taking Alex. He claimed Alex was his. Before he could finish, Julian kicked him away. He told his friends to bring Leo along. He said gland atrophy was a serious issue. He had kindly made an appointment for Leo, too. Julian took Alex to the hospital. Alex was burning up. He fought the urge to ask for pheromones. But he knew he would break eventually. He told Julian he did not have to do this. Julian silenced him with a finger to his lips. He said he wanted to. He promised to satisfy Alex after the doctor's visit. Alex leaned against him. He did not understand Julian's kindness. He knew he did not deserve such a good person. A doctor drew blood. He was told to wait for the results. For 2 hours, Julian just held him. He calmed him until the report was ready. An older doctor sat before them. Alex recognized him. He was the world's leading expert on glands. Julian had truly pulled out all the stops. The doctor explained that Alex's case was unique. It was often confused with pheromonal disorders. But Alex was not sick. His glands were simply larger and deeper. They required far more pheromones to be satisfied. He had information from Julian. Alex had previously lived with Leo. Leo suffered from classic gland atrophy. His mark duration was short. His pheromone concentration was low. That was why Alex had never been marked. Alex's head was spinning. He only understood that he was not ill. Julian held his hand, asking what could be done. The doctor presented another report. He smiled slightly. He explained that Julian and Alex's pheromones were a 99% match. A permanent mark from Julian would allow Alex to live a normal life. Permanent mark. Alex looked at Julian. He swallowed nervously. An omega could only be permanently marked by one enigma. He would forever be known as Julian's. But would Julian want that? A man like him should marry a high-class omega. They would produce outstanding heirs. Alex clearly saw his own stats on the report. He was merely a C-class omega. His only outstanding feature was his compatibility with Julian. Julian turned to look at him. Alex lowered his head. The doctor tactfully left the room. Alex used his last bit of strength. He told Julian he had already caused too much trouble. He said he would not force him. Julian sighed and turned Alex's head to face him. He asked if Alex was willing. He warned that a mark was for life. Removing it would be extremely painful. His words were sincere. This sincerity made Alex hesitate. The more genuine Julian was, the more afraid Alex became. Julian saw his hesitation. He sighed softly. He pulled Alex into his arms. He offered a temporary mark for now. It would at least ease the pain. The next morning, Julian was gone. Alex closed his eyes. He felt the rich pheromones in his glands. Julian had only given him a temporary mark. He sat up. A large hand supported his back. He thought Julian had left. Leo's cold voice filled the room. He was sitting there in a hospital gown. A needle mark on his hand was still bleeding. He must have run from his own room. Alex asked what he was doing. He instinctively moved to the other side of the bed. Leo gave a bitter laugh. He asked if Alex remembered their first meeting. He had protected Alex. Alex had promised to stay with him forever. Of course, he remembered. Any omega would fall for their childhood hero. At that time, Alex truly believed Leo was his forever alpha. Leo lamented how beautiful it was. He asked why he had to ruin everything. He expressed deep regret. He apologized to Alex. He became emotional and stood up. He reached out with sincere eyes. He asked for another chance. He claimed he was blinded by greed. He said his feelings for Alex were complex. He now understood how to love him. He begged Alex to let him try. Alex watched him quietly. He now understood what happened yesterday. An alpha with gland atrophy. Chloe's grim face confirmed it. Leo had been abandoned by her. A high-class omega like Chloe would not ruin her life. Alex looked at him coldly. He asked if Leo could smell it. Leo was confused. Alex walked forward confidently. He twirled once in front of Leo. The heavy enigma scent on him was undeniable. He asked if Leo's glands had atrophied that much. Leo stood frozen. He tried desperately to catch a scent, but he could not lock onto anything. He collapsed into the chair. Gland atrophy meant he could only smell faint omega scents. Everything else was like a beta. He insisted he could still smell Alex. He said that was all that mattered. They could be like they were before. He knew Alex needed pheromones. He pleaded that they were the most compatible. He moved closer to Alex. The arrogance of his youth was gone. His eyes were filled with desperation. Alex told him it was impossible. He pressed the nurse call button. A nurse arrived quickly. Alex watched as Leo was restrained. He was screaming that he was not sick. Then he looked at Alex with despair. Leo accused Alex of being heartless. He had cared for Alex for years. Now that he was sick, Alex was abandoning him. Alex did not speak. He did not even look at him. He was heartless. To survive, he had always been willing to abandon everything. Julian returned the next day. Alex was feeling much better. The doctor said he could be discharged. Julian packed his things. He drove Alex back to his apartment. He mentioned a great restaurant nearby. He offered to take Alex there. He asked if Leo had hurt him. He explained he was delayed by some business. Julian was as talkative as when they first met. Alex did not know how to respond. They both avoided the topic of a permanent mark. Alex knew Julian was being considerate. He was afraid Alex was unwilling. Years ago, this would have been an easy decision. But now, complex emotions held him back. Julian noticed his silence. He asked why he looked so pale. Alex had been so lost in thought, he did not notice the car had stopped. Julian's warm hand touched his forehead. Alex's cheeks grew hot. He pushed his hand away. He claimed it was just the cold outside. Julian mumbled that the heat was on. He decided to drop off Alex's things first. Then they would eat. The things were all bought by Julian. They were daily necessities and supplements. He had been prepared for a long treatment. He had not expected Alex to be healthy. The new items crowded Alex's small room. Julian suggested finding him a new place. He said this apartment was too cramped. He spoke like they were an old married couple. He pulled out his phone to call an agent. Alex stood opposite him, his heart pounding. He thought about his choices. If he refused a permanent mark now, when would he meet another compatible enigma? And would that person be as kind as Julian? It was just a mark. If Julian found a high-class Omega later, Alex could just leave. He made a decision. He took off his scarf. He cautiously approached Julian. He whispered for Julian to give it to him. His voice trembled. His fingers fumbled with Julian's shirt buttons. He could hear Julian's heart beating faster. Julian caught his hands. He asked if Alex was sure. He reminded him again that a mark was for life. Alex would be his Omega forever. He asked what would happen if Alex regretted it. Alex shook his head, unable to meet his eyes. He said he would not regret it. The person who should have regrets was Julian. High society was judgmental about class. Someday they might mock Julian for marking a C-class Omega. Maybe then Julian would regret it. But Alex had always been selfish. He just wanted to be comfortable. He would not regret this. He looked up at Julian. He embraced him tightly. Julian's lips gently kissed his scent gland. He whispered that he would give Alex everything. In the morning, a phone call woke Alex. He touched his swollen gland. He could feel the abundant pheromones inside. It was amazing. They were not dissipating at all. Julian stirred, pulling Alex's arm. He slowly opened his eyes. He asked who was calling. Alex looked at his phone. There were dozens of missed calls and texts from Leo. 5 hours ago, Leo said he had jumped into the sea. He had said a final goodbye, but he was still calling 3 minutes ago. Julian sat up, searching for his phone. Just then, it rang. He answered it. Leo's mother was crying on the other end. She asked Julian to bring Alex to the hospital. She said Leo could not accept his illness. He was demanding to see Alex. She begged him. Julian had the phone on speaker. Alex heard everything clearly. Julian took a deep breath. He told his sister-in-law he could not make that decision. He would have to ask Alex. Alex looked at Julian and nodded slowly. If he did not go and Leo died, it would be difficult for Julian. He did not want to cause trouble. They quickly got ready and went to the hospital. On the floor, they could hear Leo's desperate shouts. When he learned they had arrived, he demanded to see Alex alone. Alex calmly agreed. He assured Julian it would be fine. He walked into the room. He stood at the door, watching Leo on the bed. His eyes were bloodshot. They only gained a spark of life when he saw Alex. Alex asked what was the matter. He said there was nothing left to talk about. Leo picked up a ceramic doll from his pillow. It was covered in cracks but glued back together. It was the same one Chloe had broken. Leo said he had fixed it. He said it was as good as new. Alex slowly took it. He turned it over in his hands. His gaze settled on a small missing piece. It was the piece Chloe had shattered. It was right where the doll's heart should be. He asked Leo if something without a heart could ever be the same. He tossed the doll back onto the bed. He turned and left. Leo did not shout. He just stared at the doll. Leo's parents rushed into the room. Alex took Julian's hand. He told him they should go. He said Leo would eventually understand. After leaving the hospital, Julian started driving. Alex assumed he was being taken home. But this was not the right way. He asked where they were going. Julian said he was taking him home for dinner. He explained his parents had been wanting to meet Alex. He assured him they were very nice people. Alex froze. His brain shut down. This meant he was meeting Julian's parents. It meant Julian wanted to marry him. The word "stop" flew out of his mouth. Julian obediently pulled the car over. Alex asked why this was happening so suddenly. He felt things were moving too fast between them. Julian looked at him, completely bewildered. Alex realized his mistake. They already had a permanent mark. Nothing could be closer than that. Julian stated that Alex was his Omega. He said he would be responsible for him. Alex realized it was just a sense of duty. He shook his head. He said Julian did not need to be with him. He could move to another city. He would stay far away. That way Julian could still... His words were cut off by a kiss. Julian held his wrist tightly. He seemed very angry. He bit Alex's lip until he tasted blood. Then he pulled away. He asked what Alex was trying to say. He pleaded with Alex to stop being so difficult. He told him to stop assuming the worst outcome. He said the best choice was right in front of him. He begged Alex to just look at him. He held Alex's face, forcing him to make eye contact. Alex tried to protest. Julian kissed him again. Alex tried to say more. Another kiss silenced him completely. Julian promised he would not force anything. He suggested they could try dating for a while. If Alex still wanted to leave, he would personally send him off. Alex looked at him and blinked. He felt like Julian would be sending him to his grave, not just away. Julian laughed lightly. He pinched Alex's nose. He said he could never let him go. He had finally found him. Such a compatible partner. He admitted that before Alex, he thought he would be alone forever. He was grateful that fate brought them together. He held Alex's hand. Snow began to fall outside. He asked Alex if he would try dating him. A layer of mist covered the car window. Alex lifted his finger. He drew a small heart on the glass. He softly breathed a single word. "Okay."